George R. R. Martin, an American novelist and a short story writer, once said, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one." Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the panel of judges. My name is Faris Salihin bin Fazrizal, a student at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Clifford, Kuala Kangsar, Perak. Today, I will deliver a review about a book I personally took an interest in. The title of the book is The Old Man at the Foot of the Mountain. Before I do the review, let's talk about the author first. The name of the author is Azizi Haji Abdullah. He was born on 4 April 1942 in Bukit Meriam, Kota Kuala Muda, in the state of Kedah. He has also received the Southeast Asian Rights Award in 1988, represented Malaysia. He is very well known for many other writing pieces and was granted as Ahli Mangku Negara in 1974 and Bintang Kebaktian Masyarakat in 1986. This novel was published by Institut Terjemahan Negara Malaysia Berhad in 2010, a translated Malay version of the original masterpiece entitled Seorang Tua di Kaki Gunung. This novel has 16 chapters with 206 pages worth of content. Only costs about RM25. This book is very affordable. Sadly, this author has passed away in 21st August 2011. Nevertheless, this novel was still served as a record or experience for the next generation. Although it was first published in 1982 in Malay version, the writing piece was then translated and was published in 2010 in English version, proving that the subject matter is still relevant and it brings up the value of spiritual beliefs. The theme for this novel is family relationships. Now, without wasting any more time, let's go deeper into this book. This book is about a generation gap between old people that is stubborn in protecting his stance, which is his traditional stance, and trying to defend it until the end of his life. But it turned out to be quite difficult because it is against young people who have a modern stance, which is difficult to be accepted by the elderly. Through the character Tukia, the author tried to show the point of view of the elderly who firmly defended their stance against the traditional way of life, which is very close to the Mother Nature at the foot of Mount Bongsu. The conflict started to arise when Fikri, Fatimah and Farid started insulting Tukia's life and home in Gunung Bongsu. For Tukia, Fikri has forgotten his origin, causing him to feel very sad because his poor life makes his children and grandchildren not interested in returning to visit Gunung Bongsu. However, different from Lamin, his grandson is seen as closer to Tukia because he feels that Lamin has a soul like Tukia, who is fond of life in the mountain. Unfortunately, Tukia, who took Lamin to look for a sweet in the area of Mount Bongsu, was stung by a bee, while Lamin managed to escape. While in the hospital, Tukia felt more embarrassed when it was said that he was old because that fact was difficult for Tukia to accept. Plus, Fatimah and Farid, who often satirized and insulted the life of Gunung Bongsu and the poor condition of his house. In the end, Tukia died while trying to cut down a tree called Cengal Batu that he found to build his house with it. He was crushed to death by the tree while his wife was watching the event happen in front of her eyes. Fikri and his family was sad when hearing that Tukia has died, especially Lamin, who very close to Tukia. Through the character of Tokoh, the author attempted to present an insight into the older generation tendency to stubbornly uphold tradition, as evident from Tokoh's bond with the natural environment surrounding the foot of Mount Bongsu and the strict principle he adheres to in his work, which he considers noble and highly respectable. This story made me feel so sad with how nowadays children treat their parents. They don't have a single respect on their parents. The moral value that I got from this story is we as the children must have a respect to our parents, because if they are gone someday, we will regret it. Regretting the moment when we fight with them, being harsh with them, and not understanding them. One more moral value that I want to highlight is the respect to cultures. The modern teenagers should still value and appreciate the cultures that are being practiced by the older people and be flexible in applying them without insulting, not to mention hurting them. Lastly, the reason why I really like this story is because it teaches me how different it is on how the older generation can survive on their own in the jungle, unlike today's generation that's become so weak and only think about gadgets. So I suggest that you all to read this book, especially if you are into emotional type of story. So prepare to feel some type of emotional roller coaster when reading this story. I can guarantee that you will enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you.